Hey, I'm Chris Cooper, and today I'm going to tell you how to beat Black Friday. I'm going to tell you why you don't need to discount your service, how to get around discounting your service and avoid the pressure that you're hearing from other gym owners in your local town, but best of all, what to do instead. There are alternatives to discounting that will get you way farther ahead and won't choke you out before your gym even has a chance to be successful. First, a little bit of context. I want you to get this free guide from me. It's going to spell out everything I'm saying, and you don't have to read my screen. All you have to do is click the link below this video. That'll take you to our guide. You can download it and you can read all this stuff for yourself. So today we're going to start with a story, and then I'm going to take you through three sections. Number one, why you don't need to do discounts. Number two, how you avoid giving discounts when people ask for them. And number three, what you should do instead to actually make more money and build a gym that survives long enough to change your clients' lives. Okay. So first, a story. Years ago, when 80% of the gyms coming into the Two Brain mentorship practice were coming from CrossFit, we had a request from somebody at CrossFit HQ to help out a struggling gym. Now, this wasn't just somebody's little brother in, a backwoods somewhere with no population. This gym actually had 3 locations in a very, very popular high-end tourist destination. And it had been featured in a lot of CrossFit media. And so I got this request to consult with this gym owner and try and figure out how to make it profitable because they were struggling. They were losing money every single month, despite having 3 locations and hundreds of members. And so through the intake process, what we found out was that this gym had been running a promotion every year on Black Friday. And so they had been offering, if clients would prepay for the next 12 months, they could save 2 months. They would pay for 10 months and get the last 2 months free. And the first time this worked, they thought it was a huge success. They made $30,000, $40,000 by pre-selling these paid in full memberships to their gym. And in January, they had a ton of money. And so they also had a ton of clients. So they expanded their coaching staff and they upgraded some equipment, and the owner gave themselves a raise, and things were great until around October. And then all of the members who had prepaid in full for a year in advance didn't have to pay anymore. And now there were 100 members on this plan who weren't paying at all in November or December. And of course, there were other members who were still paying, but that is a significant drop. Imagine if a third of the members in your gym didn't pay at all in November or December this year. What would happen then, right? Obviously, you'd be struggling to cover your bills and your staff and still pay yourself because your profit margin would be gone. And so what they did to make up this gap was they offered the deal again. And so again, it was prepay for 10, get 12 months free. And a lot of the members who took the original deal said, I'm good to go again. And so this time the gym made some money up front. They covered their costs through November and December of that year. But then in around September the following year, they ran out of money again. And so by this time, their mistake was becoming apparent, but they didn't know what else to do. And so they offered the deal a third time. And by the following July, they were out of money. They had a ton of clients who had prepaid still 6 months ahead that they had to serve, or they would have to refund them. They couldn't even afford to go bankrupt. And it was not because they weren't good trainers. It was not because they weren't passionate about their method. It was not because of their location or advertising or anything CrossFit HQ did. It was because of discounts. I've been through this myself. When we started out, I offered discounts for first responders and military personnel. And then one day a nurse came in and said, Chris, why do you value military personnel more than me? I'm saving lives every day. And I said, damn, you're right. I need to give a nurse's discount. And then the teacher, her sister, said, do you think nurses are more important than teachers? Why don't teachers get a discount? And I said, you're right. Both my parents were teachers. Teachers should get a discount. And before long, I was looking for an excuse to give everybody a discount. But the problem was that my rate was not high enough. I wasn't profitable anyway. I thought that, well, I'm going to lose money on every client, but I'll make it up in volume. I'll just keep adding more and more clients, even if they're not paying enough. And eventually I'll make so much money that these discounts won't matter. And of course, that's not true. if you're trying to have a high volume business, the churn will just eliminate this extra and people won't be paying enough to make you sustainable. When that happens, you will lose your dream. You will lose the ability to change your clients' lives, and your coaches will lose their income. And so we put this guide together to help you say no to discounts for once and for all and give you an alternative to that, because I know you're getting pressure from other gyms in your area that are giving Black Friday discounts right now. And there are even business coaches out there who just don't have the experience to know long-term what happens to a gym that does this stuff. So after working with over 1,700 gyms around the world, helping over 1,000 of them who came in the door struggling, in trouble, close to bankruptcy, almost all of them had discounts and low rates, or one or the other or both. We put this guide together to help you avoid this killer of gyms. Okay. So the first thing is I used to sell high value treadmills. I did not enjoy this job. I wasn't good at this job, but I learned a lot from this job. And every year at Christmas time, people would come in and they'd be looking for a treadmill for their spouse, usually their wife. And they would compare us to a big department store model, and the department store model would be $800 and ours would be $3,000. And so the first thing they would ask is like, hey, do you have any sales on right now? Do you have any discounts? And we would say, we don't play that game. I learned that from the owner of the store because it puts the discount game in its proper framing. Products price themselves too high and then immediately offer discounts. This happens with tires. It happens with exercise equipment. You see it over and over, and it's a game. Nobody charges the retail price. Everything's always discounted, and that is built into their rate. We don't play those games in the service business, at least none of my gyms do. And so when you're giving a discount, you're actually saying, I am willing to, go get 5 more clients to kind of like pay for the discounts that these 5 got. Okay. Every time you give somebody a 20% discount, you have to get a fifth of a new client to make up that difference. And so for every 5 clients you get, you actually need 6 clients in the door to make the same amount of money. And that means you have to serve 20% more clients to get the same revenue, which means you have to pay 20% more staff. Your expenses are 20% higher because you need 20% more space, 20% more dumbbells, etc. When the reality is you should have just set your price the right way in the first time and had the value to prove you were worth it. Okay. So here's some very specific things that we've used at my gym and Two Brain gyms around the world to help with this conversation about discounts. Okay. The best one, and this is super effective, is when somebody says, why are your rates higher than somebody else? Or why aren't you discounting your price while everybody else is? What you have to say is, our rate is as inexpensive as possible for the level of service that we provide. What that does is it frames your value against their value and shines a negative light on them. If they're willing to discount a rate just to get more members in the door, does that really suggest that you are their top priority? Okay. There's some great tips here that I've learned the hard way over many, many conversations, but I'll tell you one thing. When you just say, we don't offer discounts, you will stop having these requests. People haven't asked for a discount at Catalyst in probably 12 years because we stopped giving them and we just started telling people we don't do that. Okay. So instead, what you can do is this. You can start with a conversation about their goals. You can reframe your service as one of high value instead of one of high churn or like high volume, right? Who gives discounts? It's commodities. It's people who want to sell more, sell more, sell more. It's not people who want to work very, very closely with clients one-on-one. Dentists are not giving a discount on Black Friday, okay? Then what you want to do is you want to say, okay, here is your goal. Here's where you're at right now. We're going to work backward and I'm going to break the steps down for you. Walk them through the plan. Say, how does this plan sound to you? Okay. Then schedule your next meeting. When you do that, you frame your service as high value. And I'll give you a tip. Probably nobody else in your town is doing this. What they're doing is come and do a free trial at my gym, jump into a class, try it out. It's a free intro. It's a free trial, free group session, or even, heaven forbid, free week, free month. You are not that. You are a high value, high delivery professional who's going to get the clients the goals they want instead of selling spin class or boot camp where they're just going to be another number in the class. Okay. So you need to frame the conversation differently. We call this the prescriptive model, but it's really just good coaching. And so on Black Friday, what you do is you invite people in to do a free consultation and talk about their goals. If they say, well, I really want to join a gym while all these discounts are on, you can say, I'll tell you what, come in, we'll talk about your goals. I'll tell you what the best choice is, and then you can decide from there if you want to join another gym or if you want to follow the path that you and I set out. Okay, so that's how to beat Black Friday. There's some great tips in there. There's some tactics that you can use. There's rationale for not doing Black Friday deals or discounts any time of the year. And there's hope. There's hope that you're going to stay alive, stick around, create a platform on which other people can build meaningful careers and be with your clients long enough to actually change their lives instead of trying to attract their, 3 other people and having a high churn business that doesn't actually have a positive impact. That's why you don't want to do Black Friday sales. That's why you want to avoid the pressure that you're getting from the neighborhood gyms and other biz coaching organizations or whatever that promote doing deals just because they haven't been around long enough to understand this is a small problem now that's going to create a big problem later. Good luck. Happy holidays.